All right, welcome back to the live stream. Today we're going over UFC Vegas 61, Mackenzie Dern versus Xionan. This is going to be a great card. First, let's say thank you to our sponsor. We're going Tampa Bless, home team do good, tampabless.com. Little hurricane zone down there for Tampa Bless. Now, let's get into it. Mackenzie Dern, ranked number 5, 29 years old, 12-2, minus 225 favorite as of today. And she's coming off that win against Tecia Torres. She's going up against Xionan, who's ranked number 6. She's 33 years old. She's 15-3 plus 190 underdog. And she's coming off 2 losses, but 2 losses. Number 1, Marina Rodriguez, who's just a stud and also has a victory over Dern. And Carla Esparza, who is the current champ. That was a bad showing for Yan in that one. Tom, looks like to be a good fight. We don't see too many women headline like this. How do you see this one play out?
Yo, first I got to give a shout out to all of Florida. God bless you. You're in our prayers for Hurricane Ian. Specific shouts here to my Studio 316 fam, my Rex.com fam, my Res Prop fam. Got to shout out Albino Manatee on here, always supporting. He's down in Sarasota, man. In our prayers. And, shout out to the whole Tampa Bay and all the people I know in Florida, really. I have a lot of people that I know that have family here, whether it's Orlando, Venice, Miami, wherever in Florida. Jacksonville, shout out to the Bagbies in Jacksonville, too. Tampa bless y'all. Hang in there. Hoping for the best, All right, so let's get after it. Dern versus Jan here. And I don't know how to exactly pronounce her last name. Xionan, okay. She's 33. Mackenzie Dern still not even 30. 29 years old. She's 7-2 in the UFC. She just came off that split decision win against Torres. That was a close fight. Torres is a very tough opponent, though. Both these contenders here lost to Marina Rodriguez, not within the fairly recent timeline here. I think it was 2 fights ago for Dern and 1 fight ago for Jan. Jan, 2 losses in a row, so pressure's on. But the pressure's really on for Dern, too. She's looking for a belt shot here. So the pressure's on for everybody up at this level. I think we could see, honestly, a similar fight to the Torres fight with Dern. If Jan can avoid being subbed, I think this could end up going to a very tight decision with Dern getting the nod. It could be another split with Dern getting the nod if she can't get the sub.
Okay.
So I got Dern either by sub or by a close, possibly even a split decision.
Right. I mean, can't really argue that. I think this fight is very close. I think Dern has a massive advantage on the ground. And I think if she can really get it there and have some time there, I think she can finish. I agree with you. We saw what Carla did to Jan, finished her in the first round, crucifix and everything like that. The big difference is Carla's a wrestler. So her advantage is she's great at getting girls to the ground. She doesn't always finish them, but she's great at getting them there. The opposite is for Dern, where Dern is great at finishing girls if they're on the ground. Her problem's getting them there. So that's a little bit of a difference there. But I agree. I think Dern digs for that submission over and over again. I personally don't think she gets a submission. I think it becomes more of a stand-up affair, and I think we see 3 rounds of a slugfest. I think Yan has the advantage on the feet. I think she's going to look better on the feet, but I think Dern's going to get some time on the ground and get those close rounds, just how you calling it. Decision by Mackenzie Dern. The problem is this is a 5-rounder, so we got to see the gas tanks too here. But I'm in on the Dern tank. I really like Dern. I like Yan too. But I'm in Dern decision, potentially a finish if she can get it down there early enough where she has the energy to finish. Now,
and they're not as slippery.
Yeah, she's just got such an advantage. We saw how good Carla looked on the ground, and Dern's even better on the ground. So it's going to be good.
I mean, Dern almost caught Rodriguez. Rodriguez got out of a couple tight jams.
I've been rooting for Rodriguez to get the title shot sooner because she's older and she looks incredible every fight. So
she deserves it.
She totally deserves it. I'm not going to argue that one in this one, though. I don't want to get too off topic. Otherwise, the show keeps going. But let's get into it. The card market. I like both these women. I like them a lot. But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm a buyer in Dern. She only had a 2018 Museum Collection rookie card. She's got the it factor. There's no question. She's a good-looking girl. She knows how to use the social media account. She knows how to improve her game. She knows a lot of things, ins and outs. She's at the fights. She's doing all the interviews. She's doing it all right. I like her. I got a strong buy on her. And if she can get her hands just a little better, she's a problem for anyone now, but she's a real problem for anyone if her hands just get a little better. Because her BJJ is ahead of everyone's right now. No question about that. I just can't put the buy on Jan at 33 on a losing streak. I like her hands, but I just gotta. She doesn't have the same presence as Dern. And listen, I like her. I'm a fan, but you need a little bit more popularity to get that buy rating in my book. All right, let's move right on. We got featherweights. This fight has changed hands a lot of times. We got Super Sadiq Youssef, ranked number 12, 29 years old, 12-2, minus 900 favorite right now. And he's coming off beating Alex Caceres. He's going up against Don Shanis, 31 years old, 12-3, plus 625 underdog, and he's making his UFC debut. Tom, I don't know if you had time to look at too much on Don Shanis here. Do you think he's got, I mean, we know he's got a shot, but what do you think his odds are against Super Sadiq?
I thought we were covering Randy Brown, but we're going to do that next?
Yeah, we got Randy Brown next.
All right, cool. Yeah, Sadiq 29, Don Shanis, and I love his nickname, Shameless. Don Shameless Shanis, 32. You know, Sadiq still a strong contender in my mind. He still should have his eyes on that belt. He's not a gatekeeper. He's a contender still. You know, Shameless here is going to want to bang. He's a finisher. If you looked at his record, he's a finisher. He's going to want to bang. This could be a good fight, especially look out in that first round. You know, I'm leading towards Sadiq by strikes round one or potentially a decision because I think Shameless is coming to bang, and when people do that, they could knock someone out. So that's always a possibility. I don't care what the odds say. You know, Shameless comes to bang, and if Sadiq decides he's there to bang, then someone could go to sleep. And I'm siding with Sadiq here. I just think he's got a little bit more high end. But you know what? I don't have enough time looking at Don Shanis. I'm really looking at his record instead of really looking at actual footage of him. So based on his record, he's coming to bang. And I think that first round is going to be key. And I think Sadiq might be able to finish him there or a decision. But I'm going to go with Sadiq.
Right. No, I totally agree in this one. I mean, I see this one pretty clear. Super Sadiq, he's talented. He's been a decision machine as of late, though. Take a look at his record. I think this one is his time where he can really earn that finish and get taken back up to the next level because they gave him a great fight to really showcase himself and really get into contention. And then Arnold Allen beat him. It's just how it went down. Arnold Allen has looked very good.
It was a good fight,
though.
It was a good fight.
Super Sadiq
really won, but it was
Super
good.
Sadiq does not get chumped. Sadiq is very high level. He's very good. He's missing a few attributes. But I think this is going to be his fight where he can really show it off. This is like a setup fight for him. I hate to do that to Don Shanis, but that's how I'm seeing it right now. I got Sadiq finishing this one, round number 2. I think Shanis gets in there, tries to throw down. Sadiq's got a great chin. He looks like to be the faster man if you watch footage. He just looks to be the better all-around guy, way more experience. This is a debut. This is a rough debut for somebody. He got thrown into there because whoever, I forget who it was, backed out of this fight. Sadiq backed out a couple weeks ago. They rebooked him, and they needed someone last minute.
It wasn't Giga, wasn't it?
Who was it?
Was it Giga? No, right?
Yeah, Giga might have been a couple weeks ago. Then they had something. They keep changing this fight last minute. I have to double check. And this is just tough. Shanis is signing the dotted line. Hopefully he has a good showing. Get signed to the UFC for him. But this one is for Sadiq. This is for Sadiq to finish. This is for Sadiq to move up. The guy, fighting out of Africa brings in a lot of clientele for the UFC. The UFC knows how to do it. They're getting better and better at it. All right.
Now they're targeting Africa for a show soon.
Exactly.
Down the line, they're definitely targeting.
This guy's in there. Now I want to see Sadiq beat some top level guys before I put that buy rating on him, though. Super Sadiq was just printed in 21 Prison. He's talented. He's good. I want to see a few guys, though, because when we saw him go up against Allen, he didn't win. He has another loss on his record. Not that losses make it over, but you got to beat some top level guys, not just beat the chums. And he's getting a lot of decisions.
I thought Alex Caceres is no chump either, but he's not the top end, but he's no chump.
No, he's no chump, but at the same time, you got to put some finishes on these guys to make a statement. So I want to see that. I want to see Sadiq beat some of these guys, finish some of these guys. So you better go out there and finish Don Shanis. This is the guy's debut. Sadiq, with all the experience, needs to go out there and put a statement on this one so he can start getting his ranking moved up and start fighting higher-end guys versus fighting unranked debut guys. All right? Obviously, I'm not going to talk about Shanis in the card world right now. He's not there. We'll check back in and see if he even has another UFC fight. Shameless on that. All right, let's move it on. I'm excited for this fight. We got welterweights. We got Randy Brown, 32 years old. He's 15-4, minus 315 favorite. He's on a 3-fight winning streak, and we know he just had that war against Chaos Williams and beat Jared Gordon. He's going up against old man Francisco Trinaldo, 44 years old, 28-8, plus 260 underdog. And he's on a 2-fight winning streak, beating Danny Roberts and Dwight Grant. Before I pass it over to you, Tom, Francisco Trinaldo reminds me of Yoel Romero. Just not nearly as good, but still very good. Incredible chin. Dude has still not been knocked out. Just this old-timer that just keeps ticking. He almost looks better. He doesn't look worse. He's a freak show out there. I love to watch Trinaldo because it's just... those age-defying moments for everybody. It's awesome. Tom, though, break it down. What do you got?
You know, I was thinking, like, Trinaldo, because he's still competitive. Is there anyone older than him that's still competitive in the UFC as a male? I can't think of anyone. He might be the oldest.
I have to double-check that. 44.
Yoel's 45, but he left the UFC. He's in Bellator.
Right. And let's just shout out, Yoel got a nasty victory. Guy is talented.
Oh, yeah,
man.
and shout out to Melvin Manoff, 46 years old. Hell of a career. Respect to him. He got finished that fight, but hell of a career, and he's finished a lot of people, man. Much respect to him, too. But, yeah, I'd have to look it up to see. Francisco might be the oldest active and still competitive UFC male and just person at all. There's no females over that. McMahon was close, 41. She might even be the oldest female. I'm not sure, but she is up there. Aspen Ladd, I saw, just got cut. She kind of was begging them to do that. Randy Brown, 32 years old. Randy, here's the big difference. Randy's got a 6-inch height advantage, and he has an 8-inch reach advantage. If he uses his length, I think he wins a decision by rounds. You know, that's what I think is likely going to happen. The thing is, Randy's kryptonite is getting knocked out. And Francisco does have some stand-up. He has a kickboxing past, and he can stand a bit. That is his path in my mind. Francisco could catch Randy on the chin and put him out. I could see that happening, you know. But I'm going to lean with Randy by decision here. He's getting smarter. He's getting better. I don't see him finishing Trinaldo just because Trinaldo's never been finished. But you never know. I think Randy's going to play it a little bit smarter, but you don't know if he starts to feel it, how it goes. I'm going with Randy, though, by decision.
I like that. I just want to say Moby's in the chat. Moby, you want to give us a look up? Who's the oldest UFC fighter?
Well, shout out to Moby.
Shout out to Moby. Give us the oldest one in the chat there. All right, I agree. This one is complicated. Honestly, Randy Brown should have so many advantages. This should be a dominant fight. He's got the crazy reach advantage. I'm sure he has a speed advantage. I'm sure he even has a power advantage. It's just Trinaldo is this old school warrior who takes all the damage and marches forward. He's never, still, like I said, never been knocked out. I think Randy, though, here is going to use his length and speed and try to get this to the ground. that one arm choke that he had in his other fight was just freakishly awesome. And I think he could do something like that to Trinaldo, who has been subbed before. I don't know for sure, but I think that's what we might see. I hope we do. I mean, remember Randy Brown versus Cowboy? Just crazy how you do that with one arm. You don't get to do that to everybody unless you have crazy reach and power. But at the same time, we saw Trinaldo, I think it was versus Roberts or Herbert, took some massive shots, and then he just slept the dude. He's incredible, man. 44. I love to see it. I love to see that. It's awesome. But right now, I got to tell you, I'm not a buyer on either of these guys right now. But you got to keep an eye on Randy Brown if he keeps winning and keeps staying active, because he can climb very quickly. I can tell you that right now. He has a following. The guy is well liked. The guy is very talented. Can he keep winning?
He seems to be progressing.
Right. So can he keep progressing? Exactly. So you got to keep an eye on him. Trinaldo, 44, just can't buy, but I am a fan of Trinaldo. All right, moving right down the line. We got one that you got to put a buy rating on coming up. I'm going to tell you that. We got women's strawweight. Jessica Penny, ranked 15. She's 39 years old. She's 14-6, plus 180 underdog. And her last fight was that loss to Emily Ducati. She's going up against Baby Shark, Tabitha Ricci, 27 years old, 7-1, minus 210 favorite. And she's coming off beating Poliana Viana and Maria Oliveira. Tom, I think this is closer than they're making it out, but what do you see happening here?
Yeah, I think this is. I was going back and forth on this one. Honestly, I had gone one way, and then I decided, you know what, I'm going the other way. There's a big age gap here, though. 12 years. Penne 39. Ricci is only 27 years old. Ricci also used to be a flyweight, I believe, so she's kind of bigger. Whereas in Penne was like an atomweight champion, like Invicta or something. So she's kind of like moving up from what she was normally kind of sized for, and Tabitha's coming down, which advantage to Tabitha in my mind. That's how it usually works. And Tabitha's kind of a bull. She's strong, young, and she's going to have a lot of energy. 6-inch reach advantage, though, to Penne. If she can use that distance, keep the distance, I think that's to her advantage. I think this could end up being a stand-up bout because both these girls are black belts in BJJ. I could see Ricci trying to get her to the ground sometimes, but could she keep her there, or could Penne keep Ricci there? I don't know. I think they're both going to be able to get up. Like Polly could have got up numerous times and didn't. I don't know what she was thinking, and then she lost.
Yeah.
To Ricci.
Yeah, she was going for the subs off her back. She was comfortable down there, and sometimes they don't realize they're losing the round throwing up attempts.
Yeah, like I thought Polly was doing. I thought that was a close fight. But I thought for her to push it over the edge, she kind of had to make a move to get up. And it just didn't happen. I don't know what was going on with the coaching or whatever, but she didn't look bad. I was just like, yo, you got to get up. And in this case, I think they will get up, and it could end up being a stand-up. I think the youth, though, of Ricci could come into play, and potentially the power behind her, because she's kind of a bull, and she was coming down in weight. I think here's another thing. I'm going to go with Ricci by decision here, but I think if I could easily see it go another way, but I'm going to go with Tabitha Ricci by decision. I also think if Penne loses, she could potentially retire. And also keep in mind here, which is advantage to Ricci, is Penne was a kind of a last-minute replacement, I think, for Cheyenne Vliesmas. So that's another thing. Like, I don't know how long she had to prep. She took it, but sometimes those short notices are good, and sometimes they're not.
Right. No, definitely. Yeah, I went back and forth on this one. I watched some tape. This is Ricci all day for me now. Penny's looked really good since coming back. So she had a hiatus from 2017 to 2021. But at 39 years old, how much more does she really have in the tank? I think Ricci is super aggressive. I think she's super talented. I think she gets it done here with a one-sided decision. That's my move. Tabitha belongs at this weight class, though. She went up one time in the UFC, and she fought Mannion Fioret, and that did not work out well for her.
She got finished.
At the same time, nobody realized how good Mannion was, quite going to be. And Mannion is a monster out there. I'm very excited to see her future also. But as far as the card market goes, I mean, Ricci's super marketable. I think she's going to be an absolute buy when she's printed. She's one of those girls. She's like a Mackenzie Dern. She's got multiple countries, from Brazil, lives in the States, active on social media. She's attractive. She does the right things, and she's very good when she's out there. So I got to put a buy on Ricci. Penny is a sell immediately. 39 years old. You can't take 4-year hiatuses from the sport. It just doesn't work out great unless you're like GSP, already a GOAT. Yeah, sell them, dump them out. Hey, Moby didn't get us an answer yet. I'm not sure. He must be doing something.
I think Penne popped on like Peds or something at one point.
Yeah, so she's out. But all right, let's cover the last fight we're covering today, guys. We're going over the middleweights. Brendan Allen, 26 years old. He's 19-5. He's a minus 105 underdog, and he's on a 2-fight winning streak, beating Jacob Malkoun and Carl Roberson. He's going up against Krzysztof Jotko, who's 33 years old, 24-5, a minus 115 favorite here. Very surprising, actually. And he's on a 2-fight winning streak, beating Gerald Mearshart and Misha Serkinov. Both these guys, the last 2 fights for both of them, those are nice accomplishments for both guys. Those are like very steady guys. Serkinov's been around forever. Mearshart's always talented. Malkoun was like an up-and-comer. A lot of people had him winning that fight against Allen or thought he was going to win. Roberson's always marking around with power and everything like that. I think they're both pretty good wins, showing these guys this is going to be a nice fight right here. Tom, what do you see happening here?
Look, a lot of people forget Brandon Allen's only 26 years old. That's insane. He might be the youngest person on the card that we're covering. He is. Because Tabitha Ritchie's 27. He's actually younger than her, of anybody we're covering here, which is crazy because he has a lot of experience at that age. He's got this is going to be his 25th fight. He's only 26. And those are pro fights. Now, Krzysztof always surprises me, man. You know what it is?
Yes.
He's just...
Yes. Yeah. He does. You count him out, and then
sneaky.
he's right in there. He's sneaky.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, he's very
super
sneaky
tough,
good.
and he's just really balanced. He's got like a solid skill set in every area. So he's tough to beat because he's not going to be much worse than you in wherever you take it. He might not be as good as you in one area, but he's not that much worse. So you're not going to catch like a super advantage on him in any area. That's what makes him tough. Allen is starting to realize, I think, to balance his grappling with his striking. When he starts to get too strike happy is where Allen can then get into the land of losing. He's got to have that good balance because he's got a good sub game. He's a good grappler, but he's a decent striker. But if he gets too strike happy, and I think he's realized that, he's starting to come back. So I think this is going to be tough, man. But you know what? I could see Jotko edging out a close decision here. I'm going to go with Jotko.
Oh, okay. I mean, this is tough. I got the dilemma with this one too, and it's pretty much what you mentioned. I think Allen is the more talented guy, but he's susceptible to the power of other fighters because he's fallen in love with his hands over and over again. And this guy was only a grappler, and then he gets a little better at his hands, and now he only wants to use his hands. We don't really see him go for the takedown and go for the submissions like he did in the beginning. And I think sometimes you have to do that. You have to go back to the well. You can mix it up, but you got to go back to the well every once in a while. There's nothing wrong with that. So I'm picking Allen. I think he's the better fighter, and I think Jotko doesn't have that knockout power where Allen's susceptible to. I think that's the big thing here. I could totally see Jotko winning this one, just piecing him up because he wants to stand with him. But I just don't think he has enough power to finish Allen, and I think Allen is going to be able to edge him out, whether it's on the feet or go to the grappling if he gets hurt in this one, as long as he doesn't get finished. So I'm taking the opposite side here. I'm taking the underdog, Brendan Allen. I think it's going to be a close decision. I'm going to go submission Allen in the 3rd round. That's how I see it. I think he's going to go back to the well.
I'm glad you picked that because at least we have one fight where we didn't agree. Like if we went 5 for 5 in agreement, that'd be a miracle.
No.
So at
Well,
least
I
we
mean, you
got
got
one fight.
Sadiq at -10 to 1. I don't think anyone's picking Don Shanis. It'd be crazy if he wins it. Ricci's just, I mean, she's got a 12-year age gap. I mean,
As we know, folks, if you look at the winners over the weeks we do, there might be a winner maybe one out of every 4 weeks. So it's not obvious. It never is. If it was, we'd win every week. We'd have winners every week, or Mark would call it every week. It's just not how it
no,
works,
it's
man. This
never easy.
game
This
is
this one
tricky.
this one's very tricky here. I mean, I think the main event could be very tricky. We don't really know
Yes, the main
the
event.
five rounds
Yes.
is what really throws me off more than anything. Can Dern get her to the ground and submit her? I think Jan's better. I mean, there's a lot of things going at it. I think Super Sadiq, though, getting the debut, I think that should be a good one. And I think Tabitha Ricci, just because she's fighting a 39-year-old, should have such a massive advantage. Those would be my two. But besides that, I'm going to go over the card market because I do feel Allen, printed in 2021, is worth a teeny spec play. Can he put it all together? Is he chinny? Is he not chinny? Because he looks to get hurt in a lot of fights. And we saw Strickland really doesn't finish many guys. Strickland goes out and finishes them. I just want to know where he stands because he's getting better. How much better is he going to get? Is he still improving vastly? Is he at his top level? We got to watch him in this fight, see how he does. Jocko's the perfect test for it, actually.
Yeah.
So I think he's worth a small little spec play. He hasn't shown me enough. I mean, we saw what happens when he fights Action Man Curtis and stuff like that. So we got to just see if he can improve enough where he can beat those next tier guys. Jocko, I don't know. I just can't get behind him, as we mentioned. I know how good he is and how sneaky good he is. I can't get behind him. If I can't get behind him for popularity reasons, I really can't put a sell or buy on them. I'm just going to put the hold on him. I mean, I could put a sell, but you can't put a buy on a guy unless they gain that popularity, bring him to the next level. That's what drives the prices up. Someone like Connor, losing streak, still has crazy prices. You know, you need that popularity to just put it all together. Mackenzie Dern, even after her losses, crazy popularity, her prices go up. They don't tend to go down. And Jocko, you don't hear anyone talking about wanting to buy or get Jocko cards or anything like that. So just hold off on that. But Allen's worth a small spec play. I gotta tell you that right now. All right, guys, I appreciate you joining me. And yeah, be safe.
Real quick, if you haven't checked out, and I told Mark already, he probably looked at it. I thought it was pretty good, man. Sugar Sean O'Malley had a thing on YouTube where they did like a fighter kind of documentary on him, a little behind the scenes on his preparation for Peter Yan. Thought that was interesting. If you want to talk about somebody who's kind of looking at this fight game as a business, that would be somebody to take a look at. Also, I saw that one, the documentary. It's covering Michael's kind of career, younger, kind of his career up to championship, Michael Bisping. I thought that was really good. Do you remember the name? I think it was called, was it Destiny?
No, I don't remember the name, but
I think it was Michael Bisping Destiny.
Sean O'Malley
Don't quote me on
was
that.
in the paper the other day for saying, guys are hating, they're Toyota driving. I got the Lambo in the driveway. He's like, and they're fighting these tough guys. He's like, they're fighting these tough guys. They be hating. Like you said, he's telling guys how to do it. And you know who's doing that? Patty Pinless doing it. He's fighting nobody till he gets the big contract. Blow up the social media account. Blow up in popularity. Beat some guys. Beat them up good. Make the money. And then you go ahead and get the title. I know you don't like that. I know you don't like how it's done, but hey, I don't hate. I'm in. I'm on the hype train. I love Patty and I love Sugar Show. I'm in on the hype train. I love both.
And what you're saying is not wrong. That is how a lot of the market works in terms of the TCG game too. So as far as the trading cards go, I agree with it, man. And it was funny because you mentioned in Patty, I didn't watch it, but I saw him post like a video when he visited Black Forge Inn, Connor's restaurant, and he was videotaping his and trying out the food and going around the restaurant and, just doing that, man. But yeah, both those, that Bisping, I think it was called Destiny, really good inside look at Bisping and his career. Very interesting. And that one recent one with Sean O'Malley I thought was really good. And what I was going to say before, instead of the Lambo, O'Malley said he got the new plaid
Tesla.
Tesla. Something plaid, because if you watch that video, he's got two Teslas in addition to the
Also,
Lambo.
I just want to one last, and then I'm out. Bo Nickel is going to be a buy, a hard buy. Bo Nickel is looking damn good. Calling out Hamzat, making the right calls, gaining the popularity quickly. Bo Nickel is going to be a buy. I just want to throw that out there. We don't cover the contender series, but they normally don't get guys like Bo Nickel on there where they're just so dominant and they don't even have any fights under their belt. But, all right, guys, appreciate it. Everyone stay safe out there, and we'll catch you guys next time.